Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. After a bit of a hiatus, we are back with 3D creation. In this case we are working, or I'm working on the Lords of Magic content again. Where with the Fire Faith or Fire Faction, the first character I did was the Sorceress, the Mage Lord, which also incidentally is a Fire Giant. So there's two Faith which use Giants. The fire and the air faith do this, and the sorceress, so the mage, and the fighter are both giants, and I decided to work on the sorceress first, mainly because I wanted to work on a female model that after the amount of time that I spent on male models, with the last few models from the Earth phase being all male. Yeah, and I've started with the usual, with the Genesis to female full body suit, and I first I used it in, extended it a little bit, and cut away most of it, just to realize that I was a little bit too quick, and I basically just re-imported everything and welded this together to have the base clothing that I can edit. The design choice in this case is a bit of a leathery fetish gear, because I actually looked at the render and it was like, okay, what exactly is she wearing? How, or not at the render, but at the in-game model, and was like, okay, what exactly is this? I have no idea what she's actually wearing, what this is supposed to be, and I decided to go for a bit of a punkish look. This has also something to do with how the hair is created, which is the later part of this whole thing, but I decided to go for a rather not aggressive but confident, outgoing style, which is what I'm basically did in this whole thing. So her base clothing is like some leather strap top that is rather revealing, which is then set back or unset by the coat that she's wearing. And for the legs and for the shoes and the pants, I actually used stuff that I already had made, because it wasn't that detailed, and I wanted to keep the whole thing simplistic as well as focused on the hair, which I will talk about a little bit more later on. Yeah, right now I'm finishing up the last touches, make sure that everything is going smooth, that it accentuates the body, that it is set up rather detailed, and yeah, that's about it. Copy pasting every outer edge to just add the edges. And usually I make these rather thin, with 0.02 units of thickness, which is interesting because at the coat, which you see right now, I made the lines rather thick to give the whole thing a more substantial look, which we'll see at the end of this model. I used the coat, or the jacket of the Bullet Witch, of the second version of the Bullet Witch actually, to make the coat, or the cloak, or the jacket, I don't know. It's like a vest. It has she has no arms. So her garment has no actual arms. And what I tried is I wanted to emphasize on the unique collar that this model has. So she has a really broad, big collar that is really prominent on her model in the game, and I wanted to emphasize on that. So I yeah, so I ran with that and tried to give that more of a focus. Yeah, the actual length of the model was of the cloak was just a rather educated guess, and I'm making sure that I have the room for the belt right there as in the middle. Then I'm extending all the stuff for the collar, and then I finished molding this to the Genesis 2 female base shape. Yeah, the belt is actually just a copy paste of a single row of faces. It's really simplistic, and the same goes for the belt buckle, which is really just a simplistic and uncomplex tube, which I edited a bit, but it goes well with the overall render, because the focus is actually on the lightning and on the lights and on the hair in this case, which we will talk about in a few seconds. What I have not in this video, but if you want, leave me a comment and I will show you. I have made the hair glow. The hair is actually glowing, and I can show you how to do that if you want a tutorial, or if you want a tutorial on that. Just let me know in the comments and I will do that. As you can see, the edges are rather thick, which as I told before, gives the whole thing a rather substantial or big feel, and this is what I was going for, so I'm really happy that this worked out. Yeah, halfway through the video and we are going into the hair. I used my new technique to just give it more detail before I even added any bump maps. So I'm extruding a few of the faces, and yeah, as you can see, this is a rather interesting, or this is the base shape. Then I extruded the top part of this to give it, because I was thinking about how to make the spiky hair happen that the original model has, and I went with this. Interestingly enough, the original mugshot of the character is bald, and I thought about having a bold character, but I wanted to go for a mix, or for an in-between solution of the in-game model and the character's mugshot, or the character portrait. So I went with spiky hair, and I actually had I thought about how to do spiky hair for a long time. This is basically what I came up with, to extrude different parts of the topmost row of edges, and have different spikes on one block. I actually thought about having multiple blocks which have different shapes, so that the hair wouldn't look less copy pasty, less or more unique. But working on the UV map right now, I realized that this would take a lot more time, make this video also a lot longer, but in the end it would have taken a lot more time to just set up the UV maps for everything. So I went with another solution. I basically just copy pasted the one model, the one mesh that I'm creating right now, but I rotated a few times to not make the hair look completely symmetrical, and this kind of worked. So I'm really happy with the end result that I'm having here. Setting up this UV map is also a thing that I can probably make a video in more detail if you want that, so just let me know in the comments if that would be interesting to you to get an idea of how the UV maps work and what I can do with that. I'm setting this up so that my usual hair, which is my usual hair colors, which are vertical setups, work with this model. Yeah. The latest or the last part of this, after setting up the UV map, which I'm done with right now, is basically just copy pasting this and rotating it a few times every in between. And the style I went for is some kind of punk inspired style, which I think really fits the whole idea of the face, of how the characters act, of their voice lines. So yeah, overall I'm really happy with the result. As you may have seen in between, at the beginning of this segment, the hair is glowing, which is rather cool, and I can show you how to set this up. Again, if you want this, let me know in the comments, I will do that. Yeah. I decided at this point I want to do a line on the side with a bit of outstanding spikes, so it looks a bit less like an undercut, but it still is an undercut. Yeah. This is basically what I did this time. I hope you enjoyed the model, the render. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. If you like my content, think about subscribing to the channel. See you guys around, and enjoy the render of the Fire Sorceress.